Listen, man, after a long day of content creating, I thought I was done. I was about to hang it up for the day. Till this came across the table. These two linebacker Lego built podcasters that I never heard of, and I'm just saying that just because that's what they look like, and I don't give a fuck. I'd be roasting, whatever. They were on the Brilliant Idiots podcast, but they popped up in my timeline because my dude shared it. And the post says, James and Fuhad are very much so canceled with me, open below. Oh boy, another one. So before we get to that, the first thing I want to say is please put a like on the vid. The second thing is I did a little bit of research. They're UK podcasters. They got 2 million, followers on Instagram and stuff like that. The SHXT and Gigs podcast. So they're UK dudes and stuff like that. I won't get into that because some of y'all who listen to this stuff, y'all don't want me to get on the blackety black time. So listen, we gonna listen to this and see what was said. What was so heinous that these guys should get canceled over it.
Blow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, clean shape up.
Glows up, bro.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro, white guys with black girlfriends, they
grow a beard
because
there's more cushion when they get slapped the fuck out of.
That's hilarious.
I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective. Yeah. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh really?
We love them all.
Yeah. That means white.
That means white.
Hey, let me get translation.
Kendrick fans, get it!
Listen, I'm only gonna read one comment. Then I'm gonna have a flurry of comments. You can read those yourself. The first comment from the poster, she says, and this is where she posted the video. How are you as black men laughing at this? They have deleted y'all just for looking at their women, but here y'all are showing your teeth. SMH sad. So listen, you got a plethora of comments in the next two slides. You can click pause and read those if you need to, if you want to, just so you could get a taste for what's going on. And if you think this is limited to Facebook, when I search their name, there's a bunch of news articles about them, being canceled and stuff like that. Let me just get this out the way. Cancel culture is bullshit. It's not real. Diddy's supposed to be this big, tremendous SA offender and stuff like that. He was out getting hugs and kisses and all this love and having people wanting to sign autographs, and he went back to Harlem, and it's like everybody was all over this cat when he went back to New York and went to the hood and went to Times Square and all this. That's what they was on, because Harlem is in Manhattan for people who don't know. So let me just get this out the way, man. And it's funny because this is with black women. Before cancel culture, we as black people have been getting people reprimanded and taken off TV and things like that. But just to let you know it's fake, Don Imus called, the UConn players or whatever school it was, nappy-headed hoes after they lost, NCAA championship. He got canceled, literally. He got taken off the air. Now, guess what? I don't know how long it was, but it wasn't long. It wasn't over a year and a half. It might have even just been 6 months, whatever it was. He had another broadcast radio job after all the heat from that shit died down. I could really, listen, I go into it on some of my other channels and stuff like that, but listen, when it comes to cancel culture, if you look at the rappers and stuff like the Baby who fucking did that shit where he was talking about the gays and stuff like that, they held his feet to the fire, the flames, and he's got a career now. He's good. Nobody cares about that. Travis Scott, all them people dying at his concert, they canceled. He sat down for a year. Now look at him in Brazil. He's had the biggest concert out of any rapper in the world this year. Matter of fact, out of anybody, He's had the biggest concert out of anybody in the world this year in Brazil. Over 100,000 people. So now that we got that out the way, the cancel culture is fake, let's go to another point. Women are hypersensitive, man. We'll just get this out the way as well. I did a video recently, and it was about 2 weeks ago, and it highlighted how hypersensitive women in general are. So I don't have to go into detail about that. You should already know that. If you want more details on that, go and watch that video. So when you look at this is just typical women hypersensitivity. Doesn't matter if it's black or white. Then we get to the next thing, which is that women in general love to play the victim in different ways. They're experts at being victims. And that goes from mansplaining, as far as feminists, all the way to somebody like Lana Rose, who chose to participate in the porn industry and made a bunch of money from it, but is now trying to say that the executives are bad men. Everybody in the industry is bad because they're exploiting me, even though I probably still get money from this to this day. And the reason I can get on these podcasts is because I got all this fame from sucking dick through their platforms and et cetera, et cetera. Now, listen, I'm going to keep it a bean. So the two examples that I just made, that's two ways the white women can play victims. When we are talking, and this is just me being 1,000, when we're talking about black women, it is a whole different level because the race element mixed with the woman element, it's like, ooh, that just makes the ultimate victim. Now, I say that to say, we're not talking about somebody getting beat up. We're not talking about a chick getting fired or something like that. We're not talking about discriminate. We're not talking about anything real. We are talking about a comedian, a white comedian, who, when you look at the clip, if you go back and watch it, he is the person who said all the offensive stuff in that clip. Even if we were to go this route, the white guy who said the offensive stuff should be the one who is held accountable, right? That's how things should work, right? No, they decide to hold the two people who laughed at the comedian, the two black guys who laughed at the white comedian. They decide to hold them accountable because what were they supposed to do? They were supposed to protect black women from the fucking jokes. They were supposed to not laugh. They were supposed to, knowing that this guy is a comedian, they were supposed to come in and draw a line in the sand as soon as he said that. No, absolutely not. I will not stand for you. In the UK voices, I will not stand for you. Sullying the black woman's name. No. Well, absolutely, like that's what was supposed to happen. They were supposed to change their whole mood. They were supposed to kill the vibe. They were supposed to stand up against a comedian for black women to get way to then end up at the Essence Festival and be on the Ebony magazine cover and just, that's what was supposed to happen. Get a get a BET award for how they stood up to this motherfucker. That's what was supposed to happen. I never thought I would see just think about this for a second. And I know this is not going to be that big of a deal because these guys, even though they got 2 million followers and they're podcasters, me personally, I've never heard of these motherfuckers. I've never heard of them. And Andrew Schultz, yeah, he got a Netflix special and stuff. They not even holding his feet to the fire. So this is not really about to do shit on some mainstream, super mega big controversy. Like, you put this in front of most people, they don't know who these people are. Hey, man, what I got to stop doing, I'll be honest with you, I'll be transparent. What I got to stop doing is cutting myself off in the middle of a thought. But I never thought I would see the day guys would get canceled for laughing at a comedian, and the comedian doesn't get canceled. They don't get held account. Like, I never thought I would see no shit like that. Think about how ridiculous that is. These guys are supposed to, because you got to think about it. They genuinely found that funny. That's why they laugh. Even the other people in the room laughed. even the other people in the room laugh. And this dude is a guy who goes on the road and does improv and all types of shit. He's a expert comedian, expert, a professional, somebody who gets paid tens of thousands of dollars to go in front of a group of people and be funny. But these guys, they are supposed to fight against the laughter and defend the honor of black women to this white comedian who is clearly making fucking funny jokes, clearly funny jokes. Literally some of the most ridiculous shit I've heard. Now, again, men and women are different. And every man is not the same and every woman is not the same. A woman may be able to see this as far as a black woman and say, oh, this is bullshit. What are we doing? Because as black people, which I'm not going to get into on this channel or on this video, we got bigger issues. We got bigger issues. Much more. Even if we talking about what white people are doing, we got much bigger issues there. Even if we talking about what black people are doing or what black men are doing, we got bigger issues than two niggas laughing at some jokes. We got way bigger issues. Now listen, before I say this, I understand every guy is not built like me. I understand there are some hypersensitive black dudes. But listen, I'll give you an example. I was watching Tom Segura Ball Hog on Netflix. To this day, I haven't finished watching it, and I'm going to tell you why. What he did was he started making slave jokes. I'm sensitive to that. That's me being honest. But listen, I'm going to tell you some real shit. One of the last jokes he said before I turned it off made me laugh. And it was a slave joke. And I had a good laugh. It was a very funny joke. And another thing, I actually love comedy and stuff like that. We won't get deep on that, but listen. I laughed. I respected the joke as far as the funniness and the humor of it. But at the same time, I can't support that. So what did I do? I turned off the shit. I'm not going to watch it again. I don't hate dude. I understand he's a comedian. I understand you can make racial jokes and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. When it comes to slavery jokes, that like George Carlin said the N-word, I don't really look at him no type of way, even though he said the N-word. It was a funny joke. But I think slavery jokes, that crosses a line to me that I'm not willing to support. But at the end of the day, I tell people, bruh, it was funny. I couldn't even be mad. I couldn't even be mad because it was funny. See, the thing is, and I'm not going to get deep on this, some people, fuck that, a lot of people, don't respect the craft of a comedian. And there definitely is a line because, you know, Michael Richards, I think his name is, Kramer, him saying like, yeah, all that stuff, he wasn't funny. So being that the funny is not there and it's just pure offensiveness, but also not just that, you were actually trying to insult a guy on a racial level directly. Directly. That is foul. That is disrespectful. And it's not comedy. He did it on a high level. So in a situation like that, I could understand everybody being outraged. I'll even give you another example because you should get why that example is the way it is as far as why people should be outraged. When you look at Gilbert Gottfried, rest in peace, he made a bunch of tsunami jokes when I think Japan got hit with a tsunami. A lot of people died and shit. Wherever it was in Asia. There was a tsunami. He was like the Geico or Aflac voice. Aflac, he was that voice. He made a bunch of jokes on Twitter. He said something like, you could go and Google it, something like, you know, I just released my new hit I released my new comedy show in Japan. It made a huge splash or something like that. He said a bunch of shit like that. He was fired from Geico within one business day, bro. Within 24 hours, he was fired. They severed ties. It was over. And that's what they supposed to do. That's what it is. Why? Because he's making jokes about a tragedy that just happened And a lot of people died, and a lot of people are dealing with it. Even when it comes to Tom Segura, he didn't get canceled or anything for those slavery jokes. But I could understand why somebody would be upset about those jokes and stuff like that, because slavery is one of the biggest atrocities in human history, in documented human history. Now, we're not going to get deep on that. What is this guy saying? What is Andrew Schultz saying? He's saying jokes about black women being combative, smacking dudes in the face, nagging, all that shit. Listen, if you're offended by that, you have a right to be offended by that. That's cool. If it is not funny to you, that creates an extra layer. I could understand why you would be upset and you would want to cancel somebody and stuff like that. But the one thing I will say is check your sensitivity a little bit, because he's not talking about nothing as crazy as the other shit I mentioned. And also, other people are laughing. And also, it's clearly a joke. But listen, let's just say fuck everything I just said. Let's just say fuck everything I just said. You're mad. You are mad. You hate what he said. It's so bad. It's so terrible. It's some of the worst shit you ever heard in your life. Oh my goodness, how could somebody say that? If you want to hold somebody accountable, at least hold the person accountable that said it. Hold them motherfuckers that laughed at a comedian accountable. That is some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life. And I'm leaving it there. We're in a state where it's just ridiculous. It's just that they know they can't do anything to that guy. So it's like, listen, we support these other two Roblox player looking ass niggas. So listen, we gonna get them. We gonna go for them instead of going for the guy who actually said it, because we know that's a fight that we can't win. And it's just weird. It's just weird. Listen, you could be offended. It is what it is. I just think it's ridiculous and hypersensitive, and I don't think anything that was said is so crazy in comparison to the other things that I mentioned in the examples that I mentioned. Everybody don't gotta be like me and laugh at the slavery joke, yet still turn the Netflix off. And everybody don't gotta be as understanding as me or nothing like that. But at least if you're gonna put your foot down, man, don't make it for no bullshit. That's it. I'm out.